Hey Limitless Nation, today you're in for a real treat. Today you get to learn directly from Moneeka Sawyer. Moneeka is an author, podcast host, and expert real estate investor, creating blissful wealth, turning $10,000 into over $2 million, all while working 5 to 10 hours per month. Doing this all with very little stress. Her investing expertise has been featured all over, from Harvard to Carnegie Hall to radio to TV stations including ABC, CBS, and Fox, reaching over 100 million people. Moneeka is also the creator of the Blissful Real Estate Investor Formula that shows smart women how to use real estate investing to retire rich. In today's masterclass, you are going to learn directly from the master herself, Moneeka Sawyer. Let's dive into it.
Before you dive into today's masterclass session, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the button below. It allows you to receive notification bell every single time we provide you with the content that allows you to live a limitless life. Now, if you want to go deeper on learning on how you can hunt your future, make sure you download our masterclass session at huntyourfuture.com. It allows you to know exactly what you need to do to hunt your future. Plus, we are also going to share with you tips and tricks on what you need to do to live a limitless life starting from today's forward. Now, let's dive into today's masterclass sessions.
Hey, welcome, Moneeka Sawyer.
Hey, hi Donovan, nice to meet you.
Absolutely, and we're so happy to have you here with us.
Thank you, I'm delighted to be here.
Now, Moneeka, is there anything that we did not mention in the bio that you would like to share with the Limitless Nation?
Yeah, so, in my bio, I talk about how I turned $10,000 into over $2 million. I just want to let people know that I did that in 15 years. So from my perspective, real estate is a blissful journey. And the way that you keep it blissful is that you've got the long view on it. That keeps it simple and it gives you time to be right.
Wow, that is amazing. Still, 15 years, it may seem like a long time, but that's a lot shorter than most people.
That's right. And it was my side hustle. Like, seriously, I didn't spend a lot of time on it. Like, who gets a side hustle that makes multiple millions of dollars?
Wow, that's crazy. Now, Monique, here at Moneeka, here at the Limitless Nation, we start each and every single interview out with a limitless quote or mantra or even affirmation. So do you have a quote that you say to yourself on a daily basis, or just something that you keep reaffirming with yourself?
I do. I actually made this one up. I say, keep your cool to get the jewel.
You're cool to get the jewel.
Yeah. And it's really about I'm all about bliss, right? So it's really about staying blissful no matter what is going on out there, because if you're able to do that, you're going to live a much more happy, successful, and passionate life.
I absolutely agree. Reminds me of a quote that I heard a couple days ago by, I believe, Les Brown, that basically says, until you can handle it with grace, it will stay in your face.
Yeah. And I got keep your cool to get the jewel because I wanted to apply another quote that I used to live by, which was by Warren Buffett, which was, if you can't control your emotions, you can't control your money. And keep your cool to get the jewel is much more inspiring to me, and it applies to more than money. So that's why I use it.
Yes. Wow. I like that. That's really original. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, Moneeka, in your journey as an entrepreneur and very successful businesswoman and being very, very busy, what are some challenges that you've had to overcome, or just obstacles that you've had to knock down to get to where you are now?
Well, all of us, I think, as entrepreneurs have our basic challenges, right? That we hear about. I'm sure you've heard about it so many times, right? Fear of success, fear of failure, taking action. I don't feel like I know enough. All of those sorts of things. So I've had to overcome all of those things. But specifically in real estate, I actually had 10 properties in the 2008 debacle, and within 3 months lost multiple millions of dollars of value in my properties. And because of my bliss practices and because I had real faith in myself, I was able to pull out of that without losing any money and coming out way far ahead. Like those I kept the properties, and now they're worth multiple millions of dollars, as you know. So for me, that was probably the hardest time in my entire business life. It wasn't about getting past fear. It wasn't about things that weren't real, that were all made up in my mind. It was very real. And so I employed strategies that most other people out there weren't using. And I was able to like come out shining, sparkling, like, smelling like a rose. So that was probably my biggest challenge. And the thing that I feel like I really learned from that is to trust myself, to never give up. And to, like I said at the beginning, to give myself the time to be right. So just have patience. Know that I know what I know and stick by myself and have patience.
I agree. You got to be able to believe in yourself, because if you're not going to be able to believe in yourself, how on earth can you expect anyone else to believe in what you're doing?
That's right. And there's so many naysayers out there. There are other people that are really going to feed your fear, right? But you need to nurture that courage and the guts that it takes to do big things in the world. You don't become a multimillionaire unless you're willing to do big things in the world, right?
Right. You got to be able to take risks, but also be educated enough to take an educated stance on where you're going. And basically, I took it from a book. You don't go to a bricklayer to learn about jewels. You go to a bricklayer to learn about bricks.
That's exactly right.
Now, Moneeka, in going through all of your challenges and all your difficulties and still coming out ahead, what would you say was a limitless moment for you where you had a mindset down here and then all of a sudden everything shifted so you got up to here and it seemed like overnight, but you managed to, everything changed for you?
Yeah. So when I graduated from college, we were in an economic downturn and I had a really hard time getting a job. So eventually I got a job in sales, but it was such hard work. And I remember being scared that I wasn't going to be able to take care of myself. I didn't want to like marry some guy to be taken care of. I wanted to be really self-sufficient. And so my dad had been investing in real estate for a long time, and he had paid for my college that way. So I knew real estate was a really good way to go to build wealth and to be able to take care of myself. But I'd also seen my dad suffer all the stresses around that. So he had stresses about his tenants, about maintaining the houses, about the mortgages. I mean, we hear about this stuff, right? So I didn't want all that stress, but I wanted the financial freedom. And I remember sitting down with my dad one night. We were sitting at the kitchen table and he said something to me that night that completely changed everything for me. He says, Moneeka, everybody has fear and everybody has stress and everybody has money issues. Do you want poor people money issues? Or do you want rich people money issues? And my life was never the same, because you know what? I wanted rich people money issues. And so that led me down the path that I moved towards to build my riches with real estate.
Exactly. I agree with that. Wow.
My dad's really smart. I love him.
He is. He sounds like a very intelligent individual who knows how to not only make wealth, but keep it. And he passed that knowledge on to you.
Which I'm so grateful for.
Absolutely. Now, Moneeka, what are you working on now?
Hope you enjoyed the masterclass session so far. Before we get into the second half of the session itself, it is very crucial for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, as I really don't want you to miss out on another masterclass where I'm going to share with you what other expert celebrities, Fortune 5000 companies do to become successful and live a limitless life. So make sure you subscribe right now, and every single time we upload a new video, you will receive a notification bell. This allows you to enjoy the masterclass on the regular basis. So make sure you subscribe right now. Well, as you are ready, let's get into the second half of the masterclass session.
I'm working on so many things. So I've released a book called Choose Bliss, which is really my heart work. It's called Choose Bliss, The Power and Practice of Joy and Contentment. And while I was out there talking to people about bliss, because I got a huge amount of media attention and that sort of thing, the one thing that I heard most was, Moneeka, how can you be blissful when you're broke? And that was an interesting thought, because I kind of handled, as you know, that wealth part really early on. So I married my business, which was real estate, estate with my passion, which was bliss, and I created Blissful Wealth. So now I'm teaching people about how to create blissful wealth through real estate. And I do that through coursework. I do that online. I do that through my podcast, which is called Real Estate Investing for Women. And that's on iTunes or Apple. But anyway, so that's how I do that is I've got courses, classes, events, and my podcast.
Oh, that's amazing. So where can the Limitless Nation go to learn more about your bliss in life?
Go to blissfulinvestor.com is the first place. Amazon, you can find 2 books by me, Choose Bliss, and also your amazing itty bitty Blissful Real Estate Investor book. So there's that. And then you can also go to Apple and find Real Estate Investing for Women.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for sharing that with us.
Yeah, thank you for letting me share.
Now, Moneeka, when you started out on your journey, as you've impacted more than 100 million people with your life and your experience and your expertise, what is a bit of advice that you have received that really helped you propel forward in your business?
You know, I've had amazing coaches and gotten a lot of really good advice. But recently on my show, I actually interviewed Lisa Gibbons, who used to be the co-host for Entertainment Tonight. And in that show, she taught me something that I will never forget, and I use it every day now. What she said was, show up, do your best, and forget the rest. And so now when I'm on stage, when I'm speaking to people on my show, when I'm running my business, whenever I get frustrated, whenever I wonder if I'm doing the right thing, I remind myself, show up. It's the most important thing. Do your best because that's all you can do, and let go of the rest, and the universe will take care of it.
That's amazing. Now, Moneeka, when you were doing your business, was there ever anything that you felt that was really holding you back from becoming really limitless and going all out?
Yeah, the fear of stress. Like that's how it all started, right? When I was talking to my dad about, I'm really stressed out. I don't want all that stress, I want things to be easier and faster. So I ran away from making commitments because I was afraid of the stress. Once I let that go, then like the sky was the limit. That's when my business took off.
Okay. Wow. Now, when you let go of stress, that's got to be a big relief there. But in thinking of letting go of things and just adapting to new things, what are some habits that you have instilled into your life that helps you maintain this limitless, blissful life?
I have a really special gratitude practice that I do in the morning and in the night. And it's really about feeling deeply into the things that I'm grateful for in myself, in my business, in my life, and in the world. And I do this in the morning, like my alarm goes off and I'm kind of groggy. And so I push snooze and I do my gratitude practice in that space of like just opening up to the world. And then I do the same gratitude practice at night. And what this does for me is it reminds me what's amazing, and it helps me to really look forward to all the cool, new, amazing things that are about to happen for me, right? So I think that's the one thing that no matter what is going on or where in the world I am or how late or early I have to get up or go to bed, that's the one thing I just do consistently. And it just, when I don't do it, I can tell I'm not the same person. My life doesn't feel the same.
So in your life, you've practiced the habit of gratitude and always being grateful and starting every single day and ending every single day on an extremely positive note.
Exactly.
That's amazing. So Moneeka, in your journey so far, do you have a resource that you can share with the Limitless Nation viewers and listeners so that they can further their limitless journey and live a more blissful life?
Yeah. So a lot of people are curious about how I created the wealth that I did in such a blissful way. So I've created a report that's very transparent. So it talks about where I started, where I got the money, and then how year after year after year I built up my real estate wealth and exactly what I did. I bought at the top of the market in 2008 and 2001. So there were crashes in there. So you kind of get to see what I did and how long it took me. And you can use it as a strategy for yourself or as an inspiration to build your own strategy on. And I wanted to make that available to people so they can see what's possible for them. So they can get that at blissfulinvestor.com.
Blissfulinvestor.com. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I'm so excited to share that with people.
Okay. Now, Moneeka, in a hypothetical scenario, if all of the books in the world just all of a sudden disappeared and your bank account went down to only enough to buy one book, it could be any book, but it could only be one book. What is the first book that you would go out and purchase?
Can I say my own book?
Yes. What would be the next one?
I have to say I read my own book frequently to remind myself of my really good advice. But but if it wasn't my own book, I would probably read The One Thing by Gary Keller. By Gary Keller. Because it really helps you to focus on what is that one thing that I need to do to move myself to the next level.
I like that. Because it sounds like when you focus on this one thing over here, you ignore all these distractions over here.
That's right. But that's true. So you don't get distracted. But the other thing is that one thing, as it moves you forward, everything kind of gets moved forward. Everything that matters, right? It's like a rising tide raises every boat. Right?
Right.
If you're able to keep focused, you're able to rise the entire tide and all the boats in your life.
That's amazing. I like that.
Thank you.
Moneeka, if you had the ability to go back in time and talk to the younger version of yourself, what is the first piece of advice that you would give the younger version of yourself?
So I am really independent, almost to a fault. And one of the things, the big mistake that I have made, and I continue to make it, so this is still something that I'm learning, is to build a community of people I can trust. And then when things go wrong, reach out to them. Because I think what happens is, for me, I'm so independent, I don't want people to know that things are going wrong. And I don't trust them to care enough about me to give me good advice or to hear me. And so what ends up happening is all I've got, the only perspective I've got is all the stuff that's rattling around in my head that's my own perspective. So if I could have learned as a younger woman to build a community and then reach out to them in my times of need so that I can get a different perspective, I can get a new story, I can get good advice that's different than what I have heard or understand. If I can have access to those things, it opens me up to a whole new world of possibilities. So that's what I would tell myself is build a community of people that you like and trust, and then reach out to them when you actually need them.
I agree, because in order to keep going higher, you need to surround yourself with higher caliber people who will keep lifting you up in a positive way.
Exactly. And if you don't focus on that, then you only end up usually with people that very kind-heartedly want to support you. They say, I'm sorry, that sort of thing. But that doesn't really lift you up. That doesn't give you the new perspective that you need, Right.
And yeah, because when you surround yourself with people who are even just a little bit better than you, they're at a different level. They're at a different mindset. And they stretch your mind. And I think it's Oliver Wendell Holmes who says that once a mind is stretched to a new capacity, it can never revert back to the old self.
That's so true. I completely agree.
So, Moneeka, where can the Limitless Nation viewers and listeners go to learn more about you, your business, what you have going on, and just to connect with you?
Yeah, go to blissfulinvestor.com. I post everything there. You can get my download. You can find out about everything that I'm doing. And it's just blissfulinvestor.com.
All right. Well, Moneeka, thank you very, very much for your time.
Thank you for having me. This was fantastic.
Absolutely. I'm sure that the Limitless Nation has been inspired by your story. I know for myself, I have been amazed by the wealth of knowledge that you've shared with us today.
Thanks.
Until next time, this is Donovan saying, stay limitless.
Well, that's a wrap. Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the word subscribe. And if you want to go deeper on learning on what you need to do to hunt your future, make sure you watch the interview that I've done with Donovan on what you need to do to hunt your future on every aspect of your being. This allows you to live a limitless life on every aspect of your life starting from today's forward. Plus, you are going to receive tips and tricks on what you need to do to tackle your day, tackle your challenges on every situation, every single time. So go ahead and download it right now, and until then, stay limitless forever.